There comes a time when every individual has to be accountable for what they do and how they go about looking at ways and means of improving themselves. Everybody has their own journey, but however, everybody is trying to get to the same place. So there has to be some commonalities in trying to improve yourself. There's some fundamental things that I believe should be a part of everybody's what I call transition, because we should always be evolving and becoming better. We should always try to find ways to improve ourselves. We should never think that our lives were meant to be stagnated. That's a part of the problem that I see with people now, is that they sometimes get so stuck in a rut that they can't see their way out. And a lot of that is what I call a self-fulfilling prophecy. And what is a self-fulfilling prophecy? A self-fulfilling prophecy is when you believe in something so much it's going to come true. That's why I always tell people, be careful what you think, because whatever it is that you put your thoughts on, it can't do anything else but manifest. That's why it's important to understand that you should have high vibrating words anytime you use I am. You better make sure that you're saying something positive behind the word I am, because whatever you say after I am, you truly become. If it's not you saying I am great, I am strong, I am love, I am abundance, I am enlightened, I am encouraged, I am has to basically represent something that you want positive to happen in your life. And that's why it's important to be mindful of what it is that you're saying. A lot of people mistake mindfulness as just meditation, but mindfulness is understanding and being silent enough or being aware enough to know what you're telling yourself and what you're listening to within your own head. You can't begin to dream of creating a better self or a better world for you and yours by having what I consider stinking thinking. You can't have a negative mindset. You can't have negative energy, although they're one and the same, but you have to balance them. You can't walk around on this planet saying that I am not, I can't, if I could, or what ifs. Those are all terms that tell yourself and the energy around you that you don't want anything but the minimum. And it's often interesting when you begin to observe people and realize that they don't really understand that they are sabotaging their own well-being by not addressing some of the things that they're telling themselves. And one of the major malfunctions is we don't show ourselves enough love and compassion. And that may sound mediocre to some of you, but that is the core essence of your being. You can't love God without loving yourself. You can't love anyone else without loving yourself. So it starts right there. It starts with understanding that you have to have a healthy love for yourself. Not a narcissistic love, but an unconditional love where you understand that life is always blossoming into something better, opposed to this dreary, downtrodden, dull, impoverished mindset that many of us are suffering from. I like to tell people that no matter what you do moving forward, change how you begin to look at yourself. Be open to having other people give you insight about what they see some of your strengths and weaknesses are. It's okay to listen to people. They have insight. A lot of times it's us that's in our own way, and sometimes people who are looking at us and are around us enough can give us insight that help us improve in areas that we may need some extra work in. But that's a slippery slope, because you also have to know who you're getting feedback from. Are the people that are giving you feedback, are they people who genuinely want the best for you? Or are they fake folks hanging around just trying to be a part of something that may not manifest to anything, or they just haters? We have people on this planet that don't want to see you grow and thrive, and you have people on the planet that wants to see you excel and supersede, become much better and greater than you are. I don't manifest to be the master of anything, but I do manifest that I'm the master of myself. And I have been through enough experiences to share what I believe that could be helpful to other people. And that's the nucleus of Synchronized Souls. The company came about when I was in some of the darkest spaces of my life. And I'm not complaining about that. In those spaces, I had to look at myself. I had to internalize things. I had to slow down. I had to redirect my course. And no, it wasn't easy, and it isn't easy, but it's worthwhile because there's so much growth. There's so many benefits when it comes to learning yourself, knowing, gaining knowledge about yourself, and more importantly, how to apply that knowledge to improve your life so that you don't find yourself in some of the situations that you were in prior to learning yourself. Most people go about their lives living a fantasy, believing that life is all good and supposed to be all good, and they aspire to never find themselves facing any kind of challenge. That isn't isn't realistic. There are always going to be challenges that we face in our lives because those are the things that help mold and make us. Certain things can actually break you, or they can basically make you a better and stronger person. And that's all based on the choice that you take. No one has the power to really control any aspect of you. You have to agree on things. If someone came up to me and said, Frank, you're the stupidest idiot I ever seen, if I ignore that, then I'm showing the greater side of myself because I know I'm not the stupidest idiot on the planet. But the moment I feed into that and begin to have a discourse with that, I become exactly what that entity said I was. And there's power in that. There's so much power knowing what you are, who you are, and what you stand for, opposed to allowing outside forces to become your magnifying glass or your mirror. There is not one outside force that can help you gain the type of knowledge, understanding, and more importantly, awareness. There's no outside knowledge that can get you that. Everything you are searching for has to be done inside of you. It's internal work. And it's internal work to the point that you have to come out on the other side almost being a stranger to your old self. You're going to have to get rid of some things. Throw them in the trash. It's no longer you. Just like I myself. Growing up, one of my identity was I was a basketball player. I'm 54 years old. Now, I can't run around talking about I'm a basketball player. I can say I played basketball, but I'm not a basketball player. You see how life forces change when you don't even recognize it? These are things that we can begin to focus on and start operating from, and knowing that there is a much greater cause and purpose for your life. And that's what our program is intended to help people do. We created something called the Holistic Human Potential Optimization Program. And that's a program that helps synchronize personal development across multiple life domains. Many times people try to talk to you about your mind and they forget that you have a body. Sometimes people talk about the body and they forget the fact that you have a soul. And then sometimes some people talk to you as if though you don't have any of them. But my point is that we're not just one aspect. We're so complex that you can't even begin to just zero in on one thing. You have to be touching on multiple aspects of a human being to allow them to experience some of the growth that they're looking for. That's why we created what we created, to help people understand that you aren't just one thing. And we're not saying something's wrong with you. We're saying something needs to be improved and built upon, because you as a human being, God gave you, or the Creator gave you, or whoever you believe in, gave you everything you need to succeed on this planet. And it's just a matter of how you bring those things out, how you cultivate them, what your aims are, what your intentions are, what your desires are. What do you want to do with your life? What do you want to be? And more importantly, why are you doing what you do? And are you doing it because someone else says you should do it, or you're doing it for the love and you know that's your passion? And I suggest to you find people out there, always go with your passion. I'm not saying quit your day job or whatever you're doing, but find something that allows you to dig into your passion so you can say you live your life with some kind of purpose. Because purpose and passion are one and the same. And as I close this conversation, it reminds me of a time when I was growing up and my grandmother was telling me, and she always used to give me various nuggets, and I'm so appreciative of it because it has helped me in multiple ways of my life. But she always used to say, Junie, you're going to have to do better. Don't settle for anything. There's always a chance or a time that you could have done something more. And she taught me early in my life never to settle. That stuck with me throughout my life, because I wouldn't be here in front of you sharing this story without her giving me a lot of the gifts that I have. But that's one that resonates with me so deeply, because everything takes work. You have to put some work in. And I'm not talking about periodically. It has to become so intentional that you're obsessed with it to a degree. In closing, I want to remind you, good people out there, life is worth living. And if you take the first step towards improving your condition, something somewhere will come along that will help you further your growth or help you along your journey. I have to tell you, and I have to be honest with you, that I'm a byproduct of that. I stepped out on faith and began to do these videos with the intention of believing that I had something to offer to help someone else. And guess what? It's happening. You may not hear my name across the airwaves, but deep in someone's heart, I've done something to help motivate them. And that's what I intend to do, because my mission is this: empowering you to achieve the change that aligns with your purpose. And that's all we're trying to do. We're trying to spread love, synchronize souls, and help you get closer to your purpose. In closing, peace, keep shining, and keep growing.